the way my mother built me, it was like, I genuinely believe I was the human being meant to be first gen public figure, this world. Like, brother, when someone says, you're a piece of shit and I fucking hate you, like, all I can do is think, man, I hope they're, like, I don't even know how to go anywhere. I don't feel like I'm a piece of shit in that scenario. I feel like that person's hurting.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were starting to get going 5-7 years ago here, like when, you know, maybe actually, let me ask you a question. When do you think this industry, and maybe it hasn't even happened, but I have a sense it has. When do you think this industry realized, oh, wait a minute, it's not Gary and a couple of interns. Oh, wait a minute, this is not a blowhard. Like, this company might actually do okay in our industry, and like, we should stop laughing and making fun of them and start realizing like, this might actually be a thing. When do you think that happened?
I think the honest answer is when you started showing up on the lists and award shows that the traditional industry still holds in esteem.
Fair enough. So let's say that's 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever that is. You know, to me, what was happening during that time was just like, when people were upset about it or this and that, like, you know, and we started interviewing really serious MDs and ACDs and CDs and like the industry. To your, like, the first 200 employees of this company knew nothing about anything about nothing. Like this, it was all like social media in a time that nobody knew social media. I couldn't hire anybody from the world of advertising. Nobody knew a thing about social. When we made that transition, you know, a lot of people would say like funny things like, hey, you know, they think I see, you know, they think I see everything. I see a lot, but not everything. Like, hey, before we start, I want to apologize. Like, I didn't really mean all your commercials are dog shit. I was like, oh, I didn't even know. And like, what you learn through that whole process is, of course, people are going to be upset at Netflix and Hollywood until it wins. Of course, everyone misunderstood Tesla in the car. And anytime someone does something different and there is momentum and you can't stop it, the only thing you think you can do is make fun of it.
Yeah.
I'm always aware that, do you know how many people made fun of me for launching a website in the wine business in 1997? Brother, this sounds insane. People literally laughed at me and my father for opening a website when I said in a specific, this is an insane story, in a meeting with 10 partners of my dad in his co-op, one of the partners, they owned a different store, but they were all part of this group. And they said, Sasha, they've known my dad for 20 years at this point. Why are you launching this website? My dad didn't have a real answer because he didn't know. I was driving it. So, but he's the best. My dad looked at me and he goes, Gary? I was like, because it's gonna work. And they were like, but like, why won't you open a second liquor store? And I was like, and this is it. I can't wait for kids to hear what I'm about to say. And I said, because it's gonna do better. And when I tell you, the laughing in that room was as loud as Eddie Murphy's best joke in his stand-up career's reaction. I literally got laughed out of the room, but I wasn't affected because I was laughing back. I was laughing back, brother. How do I deal with it? When an ACD at McGarry Bone, big shout out to McGarry, I'm just picking one, or a CD at 72 and Sunny is like, you don't know anything. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm smiling because this is business. VaynerMedia won't, I remember one, VaynerMedia won't be here in 3 years. Okay, ACD at some, like, as it, like it makes me laugh. I'm like, do you understand that I'm a businessman? Like, does everybody understand that I came from wine retail and in 13 years have built one of the largest independent global advertising agencies in the history of the industry?
Yeah, and now you have this kind of outsized presence in the industry. And I wonder how that manifests in terms of client expectations. Do your clients have sometimes unrealistic expectations of how much you should be showing up personally? Like, you know, like your participation is not meeting what they signed up for when they hired Vayner?
The reverse.
You show up too much.
No, I don't show up at all. And we tell them that from day one. And by the way, maybe in the first 3-4 years, but nobody gave a shit if I showed up. It's like at some level, everybody was trying to figure me and it out for the first 5 years. And by the time they figured it out, we're on year 10 with Pepsi, ABI. You know, like 7, like almost everyone comes to Vayner because of word of mouth or moving from job to job, not because they think Garyvee is cool. If they think Garyvee is cool, or they can take a selfie with me at the airport. I can see them at Cannes. Nobody's giving us business because of Garyvee. If anything, the Gary Vaynerchuk of this whole thing is the most interesting thing for me. Garyvee has been a detriment to my growth at VaynerX. Right? Because I say a lot of things a lot of people don't like me to say. When I on the record believe that 99% of commercials that are produced in this industry and distributed are an obnoxious waste of money.
That's not helpful to your creative presentations?
It's definitely not helpful to the way that many see it. Forget about the CCO at Havas. I respect her or his opinion of that. That's their craft that they believe in. Why would they like that? They shouldn't. I get that. But we can disagree. I respect if they don't think social is a good thing. That's a problem for me with every CMO. Every CMO in this industry cares about that.
You mentioned a couple agencies. I wonder for you, what's an agency or two who's doing it right in your eyes or who impresses you?
All of them. And
Come on.
I'll explain what I mean by that. I have to say all because the only other answer I have is none because I don't know what anyone's doing. And the truth is, it is all of them because, for example, because I don't have time to breathe, let alone read the trades. I'm not up to date with who started agency, who's hot, who's not. I try to figure it out. I can name I'm way better than I used to be because I have so many senior people that grew up in these places. Sure. And they love the gossip of the ad world. And it's not like I'm against it. It's just that, man, I don't have time, bro. You know, and so to me, first of all, I'm a weird dude. I'm like a sports dude. I want to beat everyone, but I want everyone to win too. It's kind of like, after the game, everyone's hugging, but if you're a diehard fan, you're pissed. Like when the Jets lose a game and they're hugging the Patriots, I'm like, you fucking assholes, don't even talk to them, get in the lock. But in real life, I'm the same. Like when Steve Stout gets a win for translation, I'm like, let's fucking go, Steve. Like I'm pumped. Even if I was in the pitch, of course I want Vayner to get it. What am I, I'm not, who wouldn't? But I have this great, the world is abundant point of view. I don't think anything we lose. We lost a Foot Locker pitch yesterday. I don't know who won, but I have this weird, great energy where I'm like, good for them. Kudos, good. So when I say everyone, I kind of mean it. The problem is I can't speak to it because most of the currency of this industry is based on the industry deciding they made good commercials, not the consumer. And I am super foreign from that. I hate that shit. So right away, I'm in a weird spot because I can't really judge on the only conversations people are having. But anyone who's got customers that are happy with them and who are treating their employees well, I have huge love for. And I'd like to think that that's at some level in pockets happening everywhere. And so that's kind of how I see it. I just don't know who's doing what or how, who's winning, who's on fire. I didn't, full disclosure, I didn't know quite a few of the company, even the companies that were named. But it's not because I think I'm too cool for school. I don't know a lot of shit. I don't know most shit. I spend 100% of my time trying to figure out what humans are doing at scale. So I know what's going on in popular culture, but I don't really know what's going on in the industry. I'm not a B2B guy, I'm a B2C guy. And I think this industry is very B2B focused. Everything's insular. My biggest concern about the ad world is when the creative director when the CCO gets an email from the CEO or the managing director and says, we might be put up for review if we don't have a good creative meeting tomorrow. They've been Steve Kerr-ish for a few weeks, but they come in guns a-blazing when the pressure comes on. I don't need peacetime generals, is what I tell all my leaders. I'm like, of course you're gonna be nice when it's good and easy and we're doubling in revenue. Show me what you do when the pressure's on. Show me what happens when you get a phone call that says we're firing you from the business. Do you then go and just make everybody else feel like shit? Or do you capture all that negativity and reconfigure it in your body and deploy compassion to your team? I think that today, Thursday, April 27th, 3:51 Eastern, 2023, that there are thousands of people in advertising making people feel like shit this exact second. I know this to be true because I talk to everybody. I talk to a lot of people, brother. I talk to a lot of people. You know, some of the people that most famously shit on VaynerMedia in Fishbowl and in LinkedIn and on Twitter are the ones who are most trying to get into the building.